Moving to Oneness. Nourishing curiosity. Embracing differences. Becoming one.
Is sensing your own peacefulness something important to you? Then please stay tuned to today's episode on the Moving to Oneness podcast. Hello everyone, I'm Meilin Ehlke, your host, and I have a fascinating guest. I know many of my guests are all guests, are fascinating beings, bringing healing, new ways of thinking and being to this planet. And our guest, Sid McNairy, you are one of them as well, and you have much on your plate, and you just radiate out this peacefulness while doing so much. And thank you very much for taking your time to being on the podcast Moving to Oneness. Hello, Sid.
Hello, and thank you for having me. I really appreciate being here and being able to spread this message. It seems to be one that's needed at this point in time, for sure.
Yeah, I think this turmoil, the inner turmoil, Sid, that is happening around the globe, because people are searching for the truth. That's one. They have sensed and are sensing more and more that they want to know what is going on around the world. They want to hear for their own well-being more of the truth. And they want to understand themselves much better. And on a deeper level, there is something missing. They've been living for, in a way, a bubble, right? Something that isn't built on our presence, on our beingness on this earth, this planet. And you called also a modern monk, right? Because you embody, and that's what I love, you really embody this peaceful state within you, even though it wasn't always this way. But was it there when you already a small child? Did you notice that, and then it went out and then it came back? Share a little bit how you found your peace.
Well, definitely. From a very young age, I mean, I can remember at 3 years old sitting and observing people and being like, wait a minute, this can be different. Even back when I was a baby, when I was alone, I knew what peace was. I knew it because my mom had put up all these pictures or mirrors around my crib, and I could see myself, and I was at peace with myself. And over time, I began to see where peace was lost in the world and in my world around me. And I would fight for my peace. And then I realized, wait a minute, eventually it got back to, all right, why don't I have it? What is happening for me? And I held myself accountable to create that life of peace. And then everything, when I went through Vision Quest. And Vision Quest is a Native American practice where you go sit on the mountain and you go look within yourself and really discover how to be connected to spirit. That's the giveaway, because you're sitting for 4 days, 3 nights without food or water. And that's kind of your give to say, okay, I want to receive and make that connection. And eventually it got to a place where spirit gave me my spirit name, He Who Brings Peace. And then I stepped into the mission, because it was a question, will you take on this mission of bringing the world to peace? So I've committed my life to that since 2010. And from there, it just keeps unfolding. I've never been somebody that goes into a job that says, oh, I want to do this job. I've always been called forward into it. So I was told, hey, we should go coach football because this is how it's going to go. Then I was asked as a football coach to teach yoga to our football team that led to all the things, and eventually teaching yoga at the White House. And then it led to me being asked at this point, would you consider being president? Yeah. And so, yes, it's definitely an inside job.
I want to ask you a question. First of all, fantastic that your own dedication as a young man to go on a vision quest, that you were lucky to even know about it, learn about it. Many of us, we have lost many of our own cultural rituals, right? Mm-hmm. The beautiful gift of your mother, hanging up mirrors so you can see who you are. Often that's so, we were programmed, times are changing, that we just follow someone, and we were shown where we're not right and who we're not, instead of who are we and what are we? And even the purpose, why are we here on this planet? And I love that it's a very simple thing. I tell people, the purpose, it's harmony, bringing beauty, bringing peace, as you do, right? And to trust that simpleness, because it is very pure, and this purity goes everywhere. It's like it can go through everything, because it dances with every single particle, I think, that is out there, that creates light, energy, or sound, or even your intent. So following your body in a way, or you really embodied this peacefulness, and you let your body in a way lead you, and you said yes to all of these opportunities. Did you say also sometimes no? And what did you notice what happened? So just for the listener and viewer, that they can maybe self-distinguish when they were listening to themselves and not, or their body, or their vision.
Yes, I mean, when I didn't listen, eventually I got to a place where my body shut down, and listening took me back in and said, okay, where's peace gone? How can I bring this forward inside of me and then step into it? I mean, there were times where outside of me, it would look chaotic. I mean, I got in a lot of fights as a kid. And so I was, when my friends from college realized, wait a minute, is this the same guy we knew? It was definitely a shift. It wasn't automatic. I mean, the world can deliver a lot of different things, yet I've always thought that the things in my path are the lessons for me to learn from, that I've actually even created them in my path so that I could get the lessons. And if I get the lessons, then I would be able to step beyond that. And that's happened, that I take full accountability for everything in my life, how it showed up, the marriages that I ended in divorce. I took accountability for those, and that's why I have a marriage that I see in such a powerful way. It's okay, the things that anyone's gone through, as long as you get to where you are, and this is where I am now.
We're beautifully said. Yes, I'm through a lot of things in my life too. And I look at them that one thing is so we can understand others. I think that is always an important thing, right? I remember even lying in the gardens and I said, oh my God, I never went through like a horrible thing in my eyes, horrible shamanic thing. I want to experience that once. I want to be in pain, and I want to be, not that I've been many before, but I didn't think they were so important. Later in life, I learned, I looked at things differently. Yeah, and Bumba, I was, throwing my awareness on the mountain, and the mountain threw his awareness back on me.
Right,
and I
right.
got my initiation up high under a huge boulder, where then I see it then also as an initiation. So many things in our life are also initiation, that I learned we're all one, right? The moment when I really was connected and knew I would be found and rescued, and the boulder lifted off me. But before that, I had to notice, yes, when I'm connected and can dictate where I'm lying to the people I know that are around, or those that can sense, I will be found and looked for. And the moment I gave up, I was a little fearful. But there was also the where I felt, oh, if I dissolve myself extremely, then I'm becoming part of the boulder, and suddenly there is no weight of the boulder on me. So that gave me then, after an assurance, first of all, yes, our body can do a lot of extreme things. It was, an outside thing of what our daily life is, that I invited in. Yeah, my body, myself, I have cerebral palsy, but if I dance many other beings, I don't limp, and I dance in their form and in their rhythm. So I knew it transformed, but it was so normal. I needed an outside force, experience, to help me understand myself, of what I'm capable of and what I'm here for. Yeah. And I think the same is for you and many others out there, that the moments where we know so much, right? We are in life where we recognize each other, but how do we bring that out and use it as a tool to teach and understand ourselves and our body fully enough to bring that out? So you said more and more you were brought to, coaching, even NFL, right? Or then you were in the White House. And why were you at the White House? To synchronize with that building, I think, right? You already soaked in the wisdom of that building, and that nudged you, not knowing maybe at that time, or maybe you did, that you would be there one day again, but as president. Yeah. So when did you also notice you had to test the world a little bit, that you were right on target?
Well, the interesting thing about that is when we moved from I was born in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and we moved from Baton Rouge over to California, back to Baton Rouge, and then to DC. And when I was 8 years old, Jimmy Carter, because if you're in DC, the president speaks, it's pretty much in every elementary school, every high school there. You're getting indoctrinated into that space. And so I saw Jimmy Carter speak, and I was something in my little kid mind said, I can be that, and I let it go, and I went through life. And 2014 came, and I said the same, and 2010 had happened, and all those different things. So when I was teaching at the White House, teaching yoga, and President Obama came out to speak, it's just been in my nature to look at, okay, what would I say to these people? That's just been something that's always been there for me, as long as I can remember. My dad was a prolific speaker all over the world, so I watched that, and he already emulated that for me. So when it came to being there in that way, yes, it felt like, okay, this is my journey. This is another opportunity for me to see closer up hand what that will look like for me. And so, yeah, I truly feel that it's just something that continues to resonate within me, for sure.
So when we talk about, you have a beautiful expression, art of peaceful living, right? And you do a lot of things under that title, .com and a book club, etc., etc. And how can people start if they feel now this little bit of a restlessness within them, to become calm enough to trust that what they sense is, sometimes when we think such grand vision as you do, Sid, maybe we're crazy, or no one in our surrounding or environment field around us takes us serious when we voice it. Maybe they ridicule us if it's voiced by us, you, me. How do you get over that to say, oh, that's not bad, but I hone back in, this is only a way to ask, am I really on, not target, but that's really the thing for me, because it tickles and makes me a little angry, and I'm going to show them otherwise. But when you're peaceful, you don't have even to show someone anything. So how is that for you, or how can someone else become peaceful enough to believe more in themselves and act on their ideas, their visions, their intuitive thoughts?
I'd say first and foremost, what comes up for me with your question is, I know discipline. Like, that's just from my sports background as a player in all different sports, learning to meditate at 8 years old, and it's still with me today. So I came through that level of discipline. First and foremost, I would tell someone, okay, what's your discipline? If you're constantly quitting, then that's your discipline. And so then you become a quitter. If you're constantly finding something to finish, then you will just finish whatever comes to mind. So having the discipline to recognize that the reason why things are happening the way they are is because anyone, yourself, has created that discipline. So first is looking at myself. Why is this happening? Once I've done that, when I started really teaching yoga, speaking about the presidency, all these different things, my doubts showed up in the questions and the expression of the person looking at me. It's all because I only see what I see. So for me, when it comes to that, it's really, okay, what is the person in front of me really bringing forward that's in me? Because I'm seeing me. If I don't like it, now I need to look in me and say, okay, how can I shift this to create the picture I want to see outside of me because it's in me? And that's what's happened with this. At first, when I got the ask, would you run for president? At first, the initial was kind of I don't know if I want to do that. And when I brought it to my wife, she was like, "Are you sure?" I mean, that was my reflection. That had really nothing to do with her. The more convicted I've gotten, the more she's just like, "Yeah, this is where we're going." And it's the same when I went and talked to my parents about it. Initially, they were a little further along than where Liz was because I had become further along. And so that really is what I look at when it comes to it. If I want the world to be at peace, all right, am I at peace? And I keep looking in me, and now I'm going to shift in me to bring the world along.
Oh, I just felt that when you just did that.
Yes.
I went, Chuck.
You're right.
Wow.
So yeah, that's it. Looking at, if I'm seeing it outside, all right, do I really want to look in and say, okay, how can I shift so it's different in front of me?
Yeah, that is really what oneness all is about, right? We are part of the whole. And if I create what I desire, what feels easier, feels lighter, is more of who I am, it reflects in all. And we reflect whatever someone else does, not just humans, but even the whole the cosmos, nature, and animals. There is always a movement, and we're not a solo person independent, but we're part of all. And the moment we change, the environment changes, and that is something important. And the more you dissolve, maybe it's calling dissolve or strengthen your beingness of everyone else starts suddenly strengthening their own beingness. And what you just did, right? Going into a peaceful state. Chuck, you're sitting on another continent. I'm in Germany, right? There's a whole Pacific between us. And I could sense it within a split second. So this is the fascinating thing, and it's so important to watch the way we speak, the way we think, the way we act. Yeah, but wow. So if you keep that always as your intention to be in this peaceful state, and you influence and invite so many of us to synchronize with your peaceful state, oh, this is going to be fun.
Yes, isn't it? That's what I know. When it's all said and done, everyone's going to be like, wow, I feel great, and the world will know peace. It just will. And, you know, it'll start here. People will see it because we love to show everybody what we're doing, just the way our country moves. And it is going to transform the world for sure. I know that. No matter what the end result looks like, along the way, it's the journey that is really going to make the impact. Because I'm so steadfast in this, everyone around will have to begin to speak that way too. And I'm okay. However it needs to end up, I know we'll all find peace.
Yeah, and you know, I was just in Unity a week last week speaking and listening to many others, wisdom keepers. We're on our path. So everyone, there is no way around it. It may get a little bumpy, but we're not many years away. 2030 is still approaching rather quickly. Energy is moving faster, the universe is moving faster, the galaxies, and we are all living more and more with intention and living more and more on our truth here on this planet. And this is something I love speaking about a lot too, Sid, is this sovereignty, this what happens when we say yes to ourselves, again, to our vision, to our thoughts, to our beingness. There comes this gentleness, this softness to us. And I just painted a painting last week, Soulful Woman gallery. But anyway, it is this sovereignty that comes, and it is so automatic because our shoulders, our muscles, they just fall into place. And our head moves up and our eyes look forward, right? We're not looking down anymore. And we can walk in our own stride, in our own movements, especially women, Sid. I've noticed then we can move our hips again a little bit more if we go into this peacefulness. Because what happens? We open our chests, we can show our breasts again and not buckle over and hide. Yeah. But it isn't automatic. It's not like I have to force and walk around like this. I'm exaggerating a little bit, but this guy, and people notice that your presence, your radiances, it's like a normality, and you cannot not do it. This is the fascinating part. And when you just said that this is it, that's what you are, I could feel that within you, and it is so gentle. It is so, we don't have enough words for this. You know, soft, tender. There's also a tenderness about it. There's also sensuality about it. And then one becomes so charismatic. So you have something charismatic about it. But I have to go in. We are talking about our chests and our breasts, and then you can talk into for men too, to how can they become a little bit more sovereign and let their shoulders fold or fall down, and they can get broad, wide, open again. I saw on one of your websites, you have an image of yourself. You have two Native Americans really present on your chest. Can you speak? You have many other things drawn as tattoos, but it is also a support system. There is, when I saw that image, I had an inhale of knowingness, of the wisdom, I can still feel it. It is this, wow, yes. It's just it's exuberating out of every cell out of you. And speak into that a little bit for others.
Sure. I mean, those tattoos, one is on my heart side, my left side, that's actually my wife's face. And this essence of the warrior queen that I know her to be. And on the other side is I had someone take a picture and look in. They kept painting pictures, layers of pictures, and they would remove them until she got to what she calls my soul's image. And so that's the other one. And for me, that's this balance of Isis and Osiris, or Buddha and Asadera, and all these different beings that make up my inner state. And so when I look at that, I really look at that, and it just embodies it for me. So my heart's open, which looks like I don't need to hide it. It's not where you talked about a woman's chest coming forward. That's the opening of my heart, and it's anatomical, right? It's in my biology. It stands as a yes. Every cell, when I said yes when I finally called back, and now I'm getting flooded with truth bombs. When I called back and said, hey, if you all know that I have the mission for peace, then you have your president. I'm saying yes. As soon as I said yes, every cell clicked in my body. Right, I know. It is like that. I'm just getting flooded. It went from my toes all the way up and clicked yes through every cell. Everybody has a yes for them. Find your yes and let it guide you. Let it really like resonate. And I think that's why we're on this call today, because it resonates in your body too. And many are called, few will answer. I'm just answering the call.
I wrote this down. Find your yes. And yes, everyone who's listening to the audio, you didn't see what happened. The moment he said, where he took on the yes, I twitched strongly. My body. My viewers and listeners, they know how Meilin really twitches to truth.
Yeah.
Yes. Say that one more time. Find your yes, for everyone to hear one more time, and really concentrate and take a second so they can feel it in their body. And because when you say it also, you're not just giving advice like find your yes, you're setting like an ignition for them to find the yes. So would you please repeat that and give the audience a moment to experience those 3 words?
It's time. Find your yes. I mean, that for me, that really, I've been searching for that, coaching in front of 120,000 fans yelling. You feel that. Like for me, I felt I'm on the sideline. I was like everybody was yelling at me, and there were all these people there experiencing that feeling at the end of a concert when it's really a yes. Like many people have been to concerts. There's the encore, please come out and play again, and there's the eruption as the people have just finished and everyone's cheering and saying, we don't even want you to leave the stage. Don't waste time. Keep playing, right? There's that level of a yes. And for me, saying yes to what I'm stepping into is exactly what I'm doing. It has nothing to do with anything else. It's my yes. And everyone should find their yes, for sure.
Yeah. And when you do that, there is a ripple effect going out, really inviting everyone. And there's more of an invitation, not just to the listener, but as it goes out into the field at the moment, where people will really start questioning themselves over and over and over. Am I doing the right thing? Am I in a profession that my parents nudged me into and I wanted to make them feel good and I didn't want to disappoint them? Or is this the easier way to go? Or is there a profession where I really have to stand up for my word and right? Or in a relationship, am I doing this for others, or I'm doing it for myself? All these questions, finding yes in every little second. I think, Sid, it goes even down. Are you wearing the right clothes? Are you eating the right things? Are you sitting on the right chairs? So that we get medicine from our physical also, that we are empowered to sit right, that our bones of our buttock, or the buttocks and the bones of our vertebrae can sit right, that we can open up, that everyone feels comfortable in every single moment, that when I talk about the chair or the couch I'm sitting on, every time I touch it, I feel support, because it's everything that existing supports us. So in that we start a communication, and there's so many others we can ask, right, Sid? So sometimes if one weavers oneself, you can ask nature. I asked often the sun. I listen to the birds. They give me acknowledgements. I had a thought, and boom, when they do something or they show up, or I get moved when certain animals are there. I mean, I see them. I go into, even when I'm driving a car, so that is an acknowledgement to fine-tune ourselves, to become aware where we have our encore from our surrounding, like you have. Not everyone has a huge, big audience, or that brings this wave of energy back as a yes to anchor your yes within you. You had to anchor it before, but there are moments, I think, where we have to get used to this new rhythm, to that yes, and saying yes again to ourselves, and over, which you started in a very young age and had time. But now, let's say peace is 2030, that's 7 years. That means change is needed. Many of us, to be who we are, to shine our light, to speak our vocabulary, our words out into the world. What tips can you give for someone to do that quickly now?
I'll say what's come up for me recently is I've been looking at people's fears, and the Mental Health Institute, and many people, I mean, I happen to see it on a movie I was watching. The number one fear in the world is the fear of public speaking. And it's really this fear, to me, as I watch it now, is this fear of being seen. There's so many people, oh, you need to do this, but they aren't even doing it themselves, right? Like, so I look at that for myself and say, okay, if someone comes to look at me, am I okay being me? That's the fear of public speaking. So to answer your question, what can people do? Do the work that allows you to have your own voice. I see that for people right now. Buddha was before Jesus. Buddha taught people how to be present in their breath, be present in their body, be present in the present moment. That was the breath. Jesus came and moved people into their heart. Forgiveness, compassion, no judgment. Both of those are ascended masters, right? They took the energy all the way up through their body. Buddha first, getting grounded in the present moment. Jesus, and I'm just using those two. There are plenty of people in between to keep the energy moving. We are ascending this energy, and people are smart enough now to know what that really means. Energy moving from the root chakra to the crown chakra. So you've got energy moving from one place in the body to the next to the next. Hit the breath, sacral chakra, solar plexus, hit the heart chakra. We are getting closer as a species, and voice is what I'm here to help people find. How to express their voice, express their discomforts and their comforts. The fear of public speaking is humanity moving beyond in their chakras, in the energy body, to ascend all the way to the masters we're all meant to be. That's it. Yeah, I mean, the fear of public speaking, go work on it. I mean, we just did 4 days on that with a group of people that came, and I already know. I laugh because I know where they're going now that they're fully expressed. And my wife was like, "Hey, I just want to do it." I'm like, "Yeah, you should do it," because I'm about to give what allows me to express peace so easily without getting caught anymore with the discomforts of talking about peace. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited knowing it's already been done. I'm just living into the echo of what's already been thought of before.
Yeah, yes, that's right. And there's so many peace bringers that will more and more come into your life, that also in all different ways, right? Some are very quiet, some are really out there, some are in nature, right? We're such a multifaceted ways of peace bringers. Some don't even know that they carry the code of peace within themselves. There is so much beautiful music, and I want to get back to. I had many people speak about the biggest fear is speaking. Does it really go back also to the fear of being not liked? And I think what happens, so if you're fully seen, what could happen? Someone may not like you, and in a way that's okay. It is one day there will be no worry because we know we're all important, but also being judged, being less than someone else. So if everyone understands that we're all light beings having a purpose here on this earth at this moment, we do not have to put anyone on a pedestal. You are as grand as everyone else. And we're moving into this, and Sid and his work is really supporting this and moving many forward and doing this. So who are you? And really do not hold back bringing that out in working with the breath. Sid, that's so beautiful. Maybe Sid, you can also give a quick breath exercise, how to sense a little bit of that peacefulness with themselves. So then maybe when they come to that opportunity, and one that they can speak. But I wanted to say, if we share who we are with people, our children, we tell our parent, we tell our partners, we tell our colleagues, we even tell the baker, where we go shopping. But these are little starts where we share what we really like in life, and also about our faults. You said that, where we're not so good in. And many beautiful things will happen because people will start supporting each other even more, right? Because we love to help. Mm-hmm. But the biggest hurdle is still, where do I falter a little bit? And everyone, don't worry, just be who you are. In every moment, you're doing the right thing. In every moment, you're gorgeous. So what is a beautiful exercise where they can lay off now the fear a little bit of voicing their own truth of who they are and what they would love and where they want to go.
Awesome. I mean, my go-to, because I started meditating when I was 8, is that's the exercise for me. So no matter where anybody is, they can get still, unless they're driving their car. Keep your eyes on the road. If you're listening to this as you're driving, keep your eyes focused and keep driving. Yet you can still do it in that way. Get still in your body, still in your seat, land. Now just begin to notice your natural breathing. Notice how your body expands as you breathe in. Notice how your body contracts as you breathe out. Now come into what we call the awakening breath. Breathe in for a count of 4. Feel the pause at the top. And breathe out for 4. And feel the pause at the bottom of your exhalation. Now let's do that together. Breathe in for 1, 2, 3, 4. Feel the pause. And out for 4, 3, 2, 1. Feel the pause. Now we're going to begin to connect and go into your heart. Breathe in, 4, 3, 2, 1. Feel your heartbeat. So look within yourself. After your 4th heartbeat, breathe out for 4, 3, 2, 1. Feel your heart. Then breathe in for 1, 2, 3, 4. Go into your heart. And just continue with that rhythm, the 4-count breath, adding your heart in the space, in the gap in between. And the 4th step on your meditation is the practice of no mind. Take your inner gaze towards your forehead center. Just begin to watch. See if any thoughts come to the surface. If a thought comes, just observe the thought. Know what it is. Let it pass and come into the gap, the space between your thoughts. Just observe. If another thought comes to the surface, watch it. Let it pass. If you find yourself lost in the thought, begin again. Get still. Find your breath. Feel your heart. Practice no mind. And we'll pause there. And know that no matter where you are, I mean, that can be a 2-minute practice. That can be an hour-long practice. Taking a moment to go into your heart is worth a lifetime. Finding the gap between your thoughts is the greatest anticipated peace. That's what the gap is. And in that space, we can all find peace.
And the whole body relaxes. I'm feeling filled out. So everything is in its place. I'll call it. Each cell finds a rhythm and can dance, and then this quietness.
Yes.
And you can do anything. Even when if I would get up now and start moving, I would be moving like we should, in a way. No, I'm not going to say like we should, but it is more than of a schweben. That's a German word. It would be like a gliding. We wouldn't really step. It would be like a gliding, and that's I envision one day we'll be gliding over the planet. We won't have to use this force to step down on, and we would be really feeling the connection our feet will be on, what is in between.
Yeah. Sounds like you need to come out and surf with me.
Yes. Oh, the water, yes, the salt water. That's why we're wearing both blue. The water is right here, carries so much healing for us, and positive information and codes to enliven us, and in a way rejuvenate and help us remember what we are. So put your hand sometimes on your water before you drink it, and maybe even do this meditation, and then drink your own wisdom, or put your glass of water in front of the sun or the moon and drink that, or to the favorite flower or tree you have and drink it then. So then you drink wisdom of everything, and you can feel full, like this beautiful meditation Sid did with us. Sid, share a little bit where people can connect with you, and I will also put that in the show notes for everyone to get to, and so they can be more in your world. And again, I'm going to use the word synchronize with you. You have something, they think about you, they will shift.
Yeah, I love that. I'll say the one place where, we just did this exercise of meditation. You can find yoga practices, gaia.com/modernmonk. That'll take you to my portal on Gaia, where they can find more information on the yoga and meditation piece. artofpeacefulliving.com to jump into a lot of our programs, and the peace program, the 13 plus, which is us spreading peace with other businesses and helping them really flourish and be more sustainable in that sense. And then also coming into sidmcnairy.com, so that people can really find out more of how to get involved with this mission of getting to the White House. So for sure, it's great places to connect. I look forward to working with everyone. It's one thing I'll say with this is, it's not about me and becoming president. This, for me here, it's everybody around the world. This is everybody's walk to the White House. It's, we're here, we're supposed to be governed for the people, by the people. This is the people's presidency. I know that.
Yes, it's the we, right? I think we will, our languages will change, go back more to sacred languages. We will find, luckily the young ones do want to find the old languages again in dialects around the world. And the I and you will disappear slowly, and we will be speaking as we. And you're exactly right. This peacefulness does start all in a singular person, in a single human, but it is part of the collaborate of oneness. So then it is this whole, I always see this big ball and full of people holding hands, young, old, tiny, big, all the differences, and then interwoven are the animals and plants and the water, the sun, the stars, the star nations, and everything else. So this is what I see when you speak, that this is a collaborative movement, taking a whole new way of living. That's, I like that, the art of living peaceful, bringing peace to a place, to be a structure, a city, a country, a planet. And so that we can live on this beautiful planet and enjoy who we are and have fun with each other. A lot of dancing, singing, eating, all these things will happen then. Oh, Sid, I'm so blessed to have spent time with you, to have you, for me to experience one of your meditations that you did for us, to be able to synchronize with your energy and your vision. And wow, thank you for your wise words. Do you have the last sentence for everyone?
Yeah, you mentioned this we, and I want to bring it forward in this way. First is me, the ego. We, the ego, telling the collective what it needs to do. The I, knowing that I need to go inside and find that peace in me. And then the we you are speaking about is actually, if you look in languaging, if people want to look it up, it's WEI. That's the greater we, that only the I can recognize. And so I want to leave that as kind of something for people to look into and look into themselves from the I space of the I of being collective consciousness and the we of WEI of all of us coming together. It's time. It's time for us to come together. It's time.
We're finding the global yes. And we're acting on what we found. Better, we found the global yes. And we're all acting on it. Oh, thank you, Sid. So everyone, you can listen to this episode over and over and over, and you'll experience something new. So just do that and enjoy your finding your yes, finding the courage. Encourage the cur, right? It comes from the heart. Finding your connection to the heart, and the heart will help you voice what you're bringing to this beautiful planet. So the best to you. And until we meet again, I'm Meilin, your host. I'm saying thank you very much for Sid, and we're all now moving to oneness. Goodbye, everyone.